Mom and Dad make it very clear that we shouldn't point out others' mistakes or blame others for our wrong response. When we make a true apology, we swallow our pride, apologize for what we did, and own our offense, regardless of what happened before or after it. Even if we feel the other person was 90% wrong and we were only 10% wrong, we apologize for our 10%. Mom taught us from a young age to look the person in the eye and say with a humble attitude, "I was wrong for being selfish and taking the toy away from you."
Everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, October 27th, 2022, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. We have had a very busy week, and it's going to continue. Like clockwork, I did a video a couple days ago because of Amy Duggar King speaking out about a conversation that she had with Josh, and now it's time to switch the narrative, right? Because you can't have negative press about Josh out there. We got to bring it back full circle, right? And now Josh Duggar and the Duggars and Anna are seemingly responding to not only what Amy is saying, but also to his sisters for daring to speak out against him. And this is by far, I think, there's a lot of lows that you can go in life. There's a lot of trenches that you can dig. And there's sometimes like you get so low that you're like, I don't think you could get any lower. And then this is where we're at today. So blaming the Duggar siblings, aka the sisters, for speaking out against Josh post-conviction as a betrayal. Yep, we're at a new level of disgusting. Before we get into it, can you do me a big favor? I am working really hard right now to get to 300,000 subscribers, and I've made really good headway in a week. And if you could help me by clicking on the subscribe button on the way out, you would help tremendously, as well as give yourself more of the content that you like. It's free. You don't have to pay a dime. Make sure you also give the video a thumbs up and leave some comments if you have something to say, and turn the bell on so you get all your notifications. Let's talk about this new article, actually a couple articles that have come out by In Touch. And, whenever one of these articles comes out, I reach out to one of my sources that is with the Duggars, and they gave me some insight today that I think might be really helpful as we try to navigate all of this game they're playing in the media, and as we try to remember who is really the one that has been impacted throughout all of this. So remember how a couple weeks ago Anna Duggar, the sources were saying that Anna doesn't support Josh being in this appeal. She just thinks he's prolonging the inevitable. Now this week she doesn't know what she's going to do if he loses the appeal. I'm telling you, the sources they cannot keep their story straight because they don't care what the story is as long as you're not talking about Josh being the P that he is, and you're not talking about Ginger having a tell-all book coming out, and you're not talking about how Amy Duggar King made some accusations against Josh. As long as you're not talking about that, they don't care if they tell you the truth. That's just my opinion. So now we have to go back to Anna being the victim. Why? Why do we continue? Because that's the only thing they have right now, apparently. I can already contradict like half of what's in this story based on my own reporting over the last several months, but I want to just tell you what is in the story. It says, Anna Duggar is distancing herself from Josh's sisters, calls speaking out against him a betrayal. His sisters. Josh Duggar's sisters apparently don't have the right to speak out against him after what they have had it done to them by Josh. No, it's Anna that's actually the victim of the sisters now. It's actually Josh that's the victim of the sisters, and it's Jim, Bob, and Michelle that are victims of the sisters, because how dare they not support Anna? Forget that they were actually the ones that were part of this trial. What happened to them was part of this trial. There was testimony about what he did in the trial about them. Let's forget that part. It's Anna, Josh, and the Duggars that are the victims in this, not the girls. This is gross. The real betrayal is to them. So this is what it says. Moving on. Anna is distancing herself from Josh's sisters as he continues to serve his 12-and-a-half-year prison sentence. You can't really move yourself on from women that don't want anything to do with you, Anna. Joy, and Ginger and the like, they literally want nothing to do with Anna. They don't. I mean, how do you stand by someone that stands by Josh? I'll tell you what this quote says, but I'll tell you that it started way before this happened. It says, "It started after some family members spoke out after Josh's arrest. It was a nightmare navigating all of that. Yes, it was horrible what Josh was accused of, but she needed unconditional support. Anna took it as a betrayal, and she's still not ready to fully forgive some family members." Really? She needed full support? No. No. Speaking out against Josh is not speaking out against you, Anna. Speaking out against Josh is not speaking out against you, Anna. You're the one that continues to support Josh. And this is why I told you that the siblings are at odds with her. You can't distance yourself, Anna, from people that don't want anything to do with you. Joyanna and Austin are at odds with Anna, and I told you about this in a separate video. I told you that there was this fight, and I'm going to tell you that 4 people have told me about this fight. And 4 people have told me about this fight, and not all of them are connected to each other. So all 4 of these people know about this fight. They know the same story about this fight, and not all of them know that they talked to me. So I'm going to go with that this fight probably happened, since 4 people told me about it. Back before Thanksgiving, Austin and Anna got into a humongous fight, apparently, allegedly, because Anna was going around town and trying to blame everyone else for Josh's crimes and trying to set other people up, and also was trying to get Carlin allegedly to lie about who sold a car to her, or who got a text message about a car from Josh. And she wanted them to allegedly lie that it wasn't Josh Duggar, it was Josh Williams, because apparently there was evidence that Josh had sent a message to them, and she didn't want that part of the case, allegedly. Apparently that created a huge fight, because how are you going to bring in Carlin into this? And on top of that, it made them apparently uncomfortable, including Austin, that Anna was not protecting her kids and not being a good mom by supporting what Josh was doing and playing Josh's games and being Josh's minion. You know, there's a place and time when you are a victim and then you become part of the problem. And this is what's happened to Anna. In my opinion, she moves from, it's like the Allison Mack and Keith Raniere situation. Like, you can be a victim of Keith Raniere, but at some point you also become the perpetrator. And she was an active participant in some of what they were trying to do ahead of the trial, in my opinion, allegedly. So it says, Anna wanted to distance herself from the family to move closer to Josh, and that she hasn't given up on Josh, but she does want change for her life. So this is, again, the whole situation about, Jim Bob and Michelle are great parents. So then the article goes on to say that Ginger and Jeremy were one of the people that made statements. Jessa and Ben made statements. Jill and Derek made statements. So specifically calling these ones out for saying something, which is really weird, because Joy and Austin also made statements, and I think Jason and James reshared statements by Jeremy and Ginger. So, but this article is specifically targeting those 3, maybe because Joy and Austin have already cut her off. You can't distance yourself from someone that wants nothing to do with you. Again, they want you to believe that Anna is the victim, and she's not. Point blank, period. You have got to be in a new low when you're going after your daughters who are the victims. And when I say daughters, I'm saying whoever is putting this out is coming from within inside the Duggars. Whether it's their PR person or their attorneys, I don't know. But you have to think and assume that because Jim Bob has the umbrella of authority, that nothing is getting out about Anna that isn't getting out through some connection, and it's not a narrative that they don't approve. I reached out to Amy Duggar King to see if she had a comment on this recent article that was published by In Touch, and she said to me, quote, "What Josh did to his sisters is a betrayal. Josh is continuing to victimize and intimidate his sisters to this day, and his wife and dad are co-signing that behavior." Direct from Amy Duggar King. I couldn't have said it better myself. I also reached out to another Duggar source to find out why would they do something like this and blame the girls. And this is what they said. When I asked my source about why they would do this and why would they go after the daughters instead of actually taking accountability, they said accusing somebody of betrayal is a pretty popular thing in the circle to try to keep people silent. Once again, it's their fault. They said Josh's whole life has been one big betrayal. Jim Bob and Michelle lying about what Josh did is a huge betrayal if you're going to get down to it. I mean, it is. They said Anna expecting victims to be silenced is a huge betrayal to the victims. So this is what their belief is about why they're doing this. So what's going on is that Ginger put out her book, and that which is going to address her upbringing and the cult theology that she was raised under. So the Duggars will not ever address that. They're going to take another issue, which is this betrayal. And they're going to put the ball in the girls' court. They're changing the topic. They will never answer to what Ginger's and Jeremy put in that book. They're going to have to make it about some sin that the person putting out the book has committed. So Ginger and Jeremy have committed a sin by speaking out and writing this book. Jill and Derek have committed a sin. So anything that they reveal from here on out is a betrayal. What this person said is, as they've learned and got out of the cult themselves, that this is a technique used by Gothard, and it's a way to isolate people, keep them silent, and try to tear them down so that other people around them will say, if you speak out, an article is going to land in the tabloid saying that you betrayed them. This is actually putting out a message to the rest of the siblings that if you dare speak out against Josh, you will be cut off from us. And by Anna saying that they're distancing themselves, it's because this is what the friend said. And the other layer is that even though the article says that Anna feels this way, it's really that they feel this way, the Duggars. So if you're assuming that this is Anna, this is likely a Duggar source too, because they're using Anna as the person saying this. And Anna likely does feel this way because I know that several of the siblings and friends of the Duggars got into fights with Anna about how she was acting. People were fed up with her. They were fed up with her doubling down and putting all of her eggs in a basket and saying Josh was innocent and it's everyone else's fault. What happens when, and this is what the friend said, is what happens when one of the kids comes out and says that Josh did something to me? Is Anna going to defend Josh over her kids? Is she going to say if her kids accuse Josh of something that it's a betrayal that they spoke out? It's a betrayal that the girls said that they were glad that Josh finally was held accountable. It's a betrayal that they literally were happy justice was served and they agreed with the conviction. That's a betrayal. It's not a betrayal what Josh did. Nobody, you know what I know about enabling someone is you don't offer unconditional support to someone when the support is toxic. And if there's people that are actually victims in the case, they don't have to offer you any support. The girls are under no obligation to offer Anna or Josh support of any kind. And it's the entitlement of this cult that makes them believe that they're deserving of support. Why? Why would Josh's sisters be forced to support him through this, knowing what happened to them? They are under no obligation to support her. In fact, the wise person in this case would say the right kind of support would be to say to Anna, you need to leave Josh. Being in a toxic marriage with a man that's done things to children is not healthy. You're not protecting your children. Being supportive of Anna right now would be, Anna, you're not protecting your kids. And as long as Josh is in their lives, they're not safe. A real friend who supports Anna would say, I will not support you as long as your kids and you continue to remain exposed and involved with Josh. Setting healthy boundaries and separating yourself from toxicness is being a good friend in a situation like that. People that enable these delusional and harmful beliefs are not healthy for her and are only feeding a narcissist's need for power and control of a narrative. Josh and Jim Bob will continue to use Anna to do their dirty work and use Anna as the scapegoat in the media. But you better believe, in my opinion, that these are the same things and thoughts and feelings that Josh and his dad have about his sisters. daring to speak out. And you know what's funny is the headline says sisters, but the quote mentions nothing about sisters. It says family members. They want to like make it so that Anna has a problem with the sisters and not a problem with Jim Bob and Michelle. Jim Bob and Michelle are benevolent and perfect. They're also not mentioning that Deanna said something. They're not mentioning that Amy Duggar said something. They're not mentioning that the brothers said something. It's the sisters. Why? Because they've probably been able to rail and dial back in and get Jason and James back in the fold. Because guess what? They were at cult camp over the October. So if you can get them back in under control, we're not worried about Jason, we're not worried about James, but we're worried about those sisters and what they could do. So let's change the narrative. Don't believe what Ginger and Jeremy say in their upcoming book because they sinned against us by betraying us. Make that make sense. It doesn't. Josh is where he belongs. Anna is not a victim in this case. Anna did not deserve anyone's support, and Anna's kids should be evaluated, in my opinion, because if she cannot like cut ties with this, I don't see how these kids will ever be safe. Ever. Even though he's behind bars, he is still wreaking havoc. And like his venom is still like infecting and polluting and poisoning the people around him. And they don't seem to care, allegedly. Now, In Touch says that Josh and Anna's reps did not have a response. And so I don't know if that means that we can't confirm or deny. And it read off Jill and Jessa's statements, and we already know that they don't agree with it. So yay, blame the victims again, Jim Bob, Anna, Josh, allegedly. That's gross. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.